13 minutes. 3,337 words. Photos. This is how they make in Gavar. And this is the origin story. At the request of Gegarkunik authorities, the federal government has agreed to add the tradition of preparing Gavar baklava to Armenia's intangible cultural heritage list. This recipe is popular among ladies living in rural areas of the Gavar region. It was formerly known as Bayazeti Paklava, Western Armenian. Eastern Armenians began using it after the migration of Armenians from Western Armenia in the 1830s. It was perceived as food for the rich because of its expensive ingredients. The plebs would only eat it on special occasions, ahead of major holidays or weddings. It was the crown jewel on the table. In Bayazet they prepared it in special diamond-shaped copper trays. Except for the rich, who used silver. Every family had a tray with a unique pattern. It contains tons of walnuts. But not just any walnuts. It has to be cleaned and dried with special methods. Add natural honey, oil from molten butter, and granulated sugar. The preparation required the presence of all women in the family and sometimes neighbors. The preparatory phase was lengthy, so everyone was given a job. Sort the walnuts. Prepare the dough, oil, honey, etc. The most experienced member would observe the process. And of course, there was live music and anecdotes to make the process less boring. It has 25 layers. The honey is added while it's still hot. The ingredients ensure that it preserves taste and quality for a lengthy period. Gavar baklava is different from baklava baked in other parts of Armenia and the region in general. You will find small family-owned bakeries in Gavar that prepare it with traditional methods. It attracts many food tourists. Armenian farmers will be able to ensure grains against drought. The Economy Ministry, which includes the Agriculture Ministry, is expanding the farming insurance program that was launched a few years ago. It provides subsidies for premiums from now on. Farmers can insure their wheat, barley, and oats against drought. The insurance can be purchased until May 31 in 7 provinces. It's a joint program with the participation of an insurance foundation and SPAYKA Limited, a major agricultural logistics firm. The ministry signed a cooperation memorandum with SPAYKA on Tuesday. Ministry. The agricultural insurance program is one of the most important reforms in the field. It is still a pilot program. We're thankful to our partners for their support. SPAYKA. Agriculture cannot develop without insurance. From the point of view of food security, this insurance is especially important. Arasti depkum subsidivorvam e apahova gravkari 60%. Broccoli is gaining popularity among farmers in Gegarkunik. Germany and the EU have a program in Gegarkunik to teach about various crops and help farmers grow them. Broccoli is a rising star. Official. The program was launched last year. 30 farmers were selected from multiple settlements. This year we will double the recipients to 60. We gave them seedling materials and knowledge. Overall, 38 tons of broccoli were collected from 2.1 hectares. It was consumed domestically. 400-700 per kilo. The goal is to replace traditional low-value crops with new ones. To help with logistics and sales. Want to launch or expand a production factory in Armenia? You can get subsidies from the state. ACBA Bank will issue loans for the purchase and import of brand new machinery until December 2023. The details are in the article. The Economic Modernization Program was approved during the Govit session in January. We open a new page in the history of Armenian-Indian economic cooperation. FM Mirzoyan during Business Summit in New Delhi. Mirzoyan delegation's trip to India continues. Mirzoyan. This is the first time that such a large and solid Armenian business investment delegation travels to India to establish cooperation with their counterparts. Today we open a new page in AM in economic cooperation. Throughout the years, India has become an important economic partner of ours. There is a huge untapped potential. India, a big economy, can become a land of unlimited opportunities for Armenian businesses. And in its turn, Armenia, being situated at the crossroads between Europe and Asia, has a lot to offer to India. Armenia's membership in EAEU's $200 million market with a $1.8 trillion GDP. The CEPA agreement with the EU, as well as the GSP regime with the US, Japan, Canada, Norway, and Switzerland, are tangible advantages in the investment attractiveness of Armenia. We are continuously undertaking the necessary steps to ensure a positive business environment in Armenia. I would like to mention the ambitious reforms aimed at the promotion of rule of law, the fight against corruption, and the establishment of a free and competitive economy. Mirzoyan during Razina Dialogue Conference. I'd like to simply remind the attendees about the war in Nagorno-Karabakh 2 years ago. Please raise your hand if you are aware of the events. Raise your hand if you've urged the UN to take action to prevent the ethnic cleansing of Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh. Anti-corruption in military. Colonel and 4 others charged with forging documents, acquiring low-quality tents for soldiers. Prosecutors report they were supposed to organize an auction tender. There were no special circumstances. Instead, they purchased 6 UST-56 tents worth $4.8 million from one seller. In 2021, in the same year, they also acquired 261 other types of tents above the market value. Without checking the quality, they falsified records to claim the tents met all the standards. The 261 tents were worth $7.6 million. Colonel A.T., head of the Army's Rear Service, and other ranking officials are charged with crimes. They have been arrested and fired. How many judges were sanctioned for ethics violations last year? The Supreme Court Council presented the 2021 Judiciary Cleanup results. Justice Ministry asked to sanction 18 judges. 1 terminated. 5 reprimanded. 1 warned. 11 acquitted. Corruption Prevention Commission asked to sanction 4 judges. 1 terminated. 3 acquitted. Fellow judges asked for 6 judges to be sanctioned. 1 reprimanded. 2 warned. 3 acquitted. American Peros Foundation helped 5 families from Artsakh to found housing in Metz Masrik. Gegar Kunik, Gegham Minasian, Program Manager. The program launched last year. The main goal is to provide housing and jobs to displaced families. Another 5 families are in the queue. They will move in the coming months when the construction is done. We selected and purchased houses that have been abandoned for over 30 years. So we won't kick out any current residents. Besides new utility lines, the houses come with a barn, animals, and fodder. Our partner is Focus on Children Now charity. They furnish the renovated houses and supply 3 months of food. Opposition ARF, HD, and POU continue the anti-Pashinyan. The activists, chanting, Armenia without Nikol, barricaded an intersection with vehicle tires. Several roads and bridges were closed in Yerevan. Several participants were detained. Small groups, led by opposition MPs, continue to march from various parts of Armenia to Yerevan. The activists urged university students to join. ASUE rector, however, said there were no class disruptions and strikes. We did not hinder their gathering. They came, held a peaceful protest, and left. YSU administration had a similar experience. The protesters entered and wanted to speak with the rector, who wasn't in the office. The protesters wanted to enter the rector's office to ensure nobody is there. The protesters were told, "We'll call you back." They left. A 2016 footage from Azerbaijan was incorrectly presented as a recent event by some opposition activists in Armenia. It pictures Azeri protesters chanting that Zangezur and Karabakh are part of Azerbaijan. The opposition activists shared the video and wrote, "Azerbaijan is on its feet. Yet the citizens of Armenia are not joining the efforts to save Armenia." Family members of several fallen soldiers took part in protests. They want government members and MPs to be arrested for crimes. Prosecutor General met the parents to hear their complaints. PU's Arthur Vanetzian is satisfied with the results and turnout of the Tuesday protests. They plan to continue. He hopes the future events will be spontaneous and not organized by them. Reporter: There are theories that Russia had asked you to launch this protest. HD Vanetzian: No one can do that to me. We need to defend Armenia's interests. Russia is our ally, but they have nothing to do with Armenia's internal politics. Reporter: You were criticized for saying, Krim Nash. Crimea is ours. HD Vanetzian: Watch the full interview. I said Krim Nash under the context of the Artsakh referendum. I said that if the Crimean people exercised their right to organize a referendum and decided to join Russia, how can Armenia demand Russia recognize Artsakh while calling Crimea's annexation illegal? / Reporter: The opposition is holding protests. What do you think? QP Hakobyan: The majority of the population doesn't feel the spirit of the protest. The opposition wants to remove the government and come to power. They claim they can bring back Shushi and Hadrat. When you ask them how, they break a cup instead of answering. They say if they come to power, there won't be a war. Yet they are taking steps to ensure another war happens under this administration, so they can use the deaths for political purposes again. Taking power is necessary to protect their plunder. Reporter: They say they want to remove the pro-Turkish government. QP Hakobyan: They, too, support opening the border with Turkey. But, under conditions. Beautiful words are being used to describe what should be done first. But they won't explain how. / Protest organizer Arf Sagatelian: We will hold protests, disobedience, and marches in Yerevan every day. From May 1 we will move on to more concrete and decisive actions. We have a detailed program to overthrow the authorities. / There will be a big march in downtown Yerevan on May 1. During PACE session, Armenian MP raised awareness of Azerbaijan's attempts to commit ethnic cleansings in Nagorno-Karabakh. QP MP Edward Agajanyan: Azerbaijan exploited the fact that the international community was preoccupied with the Ukrainian crisis and undertook blatant actions in breach of the European Convention. Azerbaijan continues to violate ECHR's interim measures and its obligations under the convention. Since February 2022, Azerbaijani soldiers have continuously terrorized the population of the bordering villages of Artsakh through various criminal acts of physical threat and psychological pressure. Through direct and intimidating statements addressed to the civilian population, using loudspeakers. In regularly played statements, the civilians are told to stop farming and leave their homes, otherwise being threatened by a physical reprise of their families. On March 7, the gas supply to Nagorno-Karabakh was disrupted, leaving over 150,000 people without heating. With 1.5 meters of snow on the ground and at an unprecedented freezing condition. After international pressure, Azerbaijan restored the gas supply on March 19, only to cut it again after 2 days. These are classic examples of an act of ethnic cleansing. On international platforms, Azerbaijani officials often state that the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict is over and that Armenians can live peacefully in their homes. But on the ground Azerbaijan is attempting to force a final round of ethnic cleansing of the Armenians, taking advantage of the international community's distraction by the Ukrainian crisis. Despite this, Armenia remains committed to an agenda of peace in the South Caucasus and sees the final and peaceful resolution of the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict under the auspices of the OSCE Minsk Group. //Azerbaijan News. Later this year, Russia and Azerbaijan will build a factory to serve Russian KAMAZ trucks in Artsakh-Jayrakan, Jabrayil. Azerbaijan returns the favor by declaring that they won't pay for Russian gas in rubles. Russia wants other countries to pay in rubles. Azerbaijan is still searching for 2 soldiers who went missing in the Lachin region during a blizzard 2 months ago. Pashinyan hosted NATO representative in Yerevan. Pashinyan, Maud Papikian, and NATO's Javier Calamina discussed topics relating to regional security, Karabakh, and NATO cooperation. Pashinyan, Armenia values the partnership with NATO, especially within the framework of peacekeeping missions. We are interested in deepening the cooperation. The situation in our region is tense. Armenia is taking steps to resolve it peacefully. The support of international partners is necessary for this process. Calamina. Greetings from Stoltenberg. Armenia is an important partner of NATO. We appreciate the Armenian peacekeepers' mission in Kosovo. NATO is ready to support efforts toward peace and stability in South Caucasus. Pashinyan spoke about the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, the AMAZ border, efforts to unblock the borders, and AMTR diplomatic dialogue. Security Council chief met his British counterpart in London. Armin Gregorian met Sir Stephen Lovegrove to discuss the situation in South Caucasus and the steps taken by Armenia to address the challenges. They also discussed various topics relating to AMUK relations and democratic reforms in Armenia. Psycho mom throws her toddler into a river from a 12-feet bridge. The 30-year-old mother dumped her 2-year-old child from a bridge into the Debd River in Alaverdi. The mother is arrested for attempted murder. Aravik survived. She was taken to Yerevan Hospital in serious condition with fractures and lung damage. Police reports. At 5:45 p.m. on Monday we got a call about a child in the river. The mother told us that the child wandered away and fell from the bridge in the Piruzian district. The team of rescuers and locals launched a search operation. A local man found the unconscious child 1 kilometer away on the shore. The investigation uncovered certain circumstances. During the interrogation, the mother confessed to throwing the child in the river. The mother had recently moved to Alaverdi from Yerevan after a divorce. The child was from her ex. The couple had 2 other children who died in Russia during a smoke accident years ago. This was their 3rd child. They recently divorced and the mother moved to Alaverdi with the child. She married a younger man. The family is low income. They survive on benefits and by selling food collected from the forests. The neighbors have reliance sources telling them that the mother's family had a history of mental illnesses. Cinema agencies join forces to digitize and preserve Armenia's historic movie and AMP photo archive. National Archives of Armenia signed a cooperation memorandum with the National Cinema Center of Armenia. They will store, digitize, and promote media belonging to the Republic of Armenia. It includes movies, documentaries, cartoons, and photos. National Archives has a branch called Kino Photo Phono. It contains dozens of thousands of photos and films. They will give the tapes to Cinema Center for scanning and digital restoration, and commercial or non-commercial use. The National Archive will receive the original tape back, and 2 copies of the restored version. Team ISP is finalizing the acquisition and rebranding of Beeline ISP. Team ISP was born amid turmoil in UCOM ISP. UCOM's founders left the company to found Team. Russian Beeline ISP's Armenian branch was having financial problems. Team agreed to acquire it. Beeline will be rebranded on May 1. Team ISP. We're building a unique 25 gigabits per second 25G PON next-generation network in the region. It's already available in Yerevan's Davtashan and Arabchir districts, Kajaran and Jermuk cities, and Giendevas village. Simultaneously, in recent months we brought 4G coverage in 14 cities and 65 communities. Soon every mobile tower will be connected to the NGN network, bringing significantly higher quality mobile connection. Armenia drafts Joe Rogan Act. Legal reforms and new veterinarian certification process to tackle antibiotics abuse in consumer meat. Has some context. Too much antibiotics in meat. Food Safety Agency. Economy Ministry has plans to launch a veterinary licensing process. Today, any cattle owner can make purchases from a veterinary pharmacy. They can take antibiotics and inject the cattle without knowing if it's the right treatment. 1. The dangerous meat ends up on your table. 2. The veterinarian profession becomes obsolete. The licensing process aims to address the above. It also envisages stricter standards for veterinarians. They will need routine retraining and courses to keep their license. We'll launch another important process this autumn. When I talk to my European colleagues about exporting meat to the EU, they want to know the exact origins of the meat because it's a risky food. If we want to export to the EU, numbering and registration of the cattle is a must. Which countries import meat from Armenia? Food Safety Agency. Last year Armenia exported 105,000 small and 38,000 large cattle. This year we're noticing positive trends. The main destinations were Kuwait, Qatar, Jordan, and Lebanon. We are exporting already butchered meant to UAE because they have a certified slaughterhouse in Armenia. Efforts continue to make clinics more powerful so residents won't rush to the hospital over a common flu. Deputy Mayor of Yerevan. Many multi-layered problems have accumulated in clinics. It leads to an unnecessary burden on hospitals. Better clinics mean better preventative care. We have a team working on the issue. Discussions were held with Healthcare Ministry and Medical University. To tackle the problems we will assess the employees' potential, introduce modern medical technologies, facility renovations, optimal management, etc. This year we will launch the reconstruction of the N5, Nork Marish, and N12, Avon, clinics. General vaccination rate among children has increased in Armenia. Healthcare Ministry official. The vaccination rate has gone from 89% to 91%. This is a significant improvement. During the pandemic, we had concerns that parents would refrain from taking their children to get non-COVID vaccines. But we were able to reorganize our work and prevent disruption. We're holding Immunization Week in Armenia. This is another opportunity to raise awareness about the importance of vaccines. We want adults to be as vaccinated as children. // COVID stats. 2,644 tested. 10 infected. 17 healed. 0 deaths. 1945 are currently sick. 95% are unvaccinated. Today in history. Today is World Intellectual Property Day. 1721. Massive earthquake destroys 3/4 of Tabriz. Iran. Up to 250,000 casualties. 1966. Magnitude 5.1 earthquake strikes Tashkent, leaving 300,000 homeless. 1803. Thousands of meteor fragments fall from the skies of L'Aigle, France. The event convinces European scientists that meteors exist. 1915. World War I. Italy secretly joins the Allies by signing the Treaty of London. 1933. Gestapo is founded in Germany by Hermann Göring. 1933. Nazi regime issues a law on overcrowding in schools, limiting the number of Jewish students able to attend public schools. 1945. World War II. Battle of Bautzen with tanks. This is the last time German Wehrmacht scores a noteworthy victory. May 8th Victory Day is approaching. 1960. The dictator of South Korea, Syngman Rhee, resigns after 12 years of rule. 1962. NASA's Ranger 4 spacecraft crashes into the Moon. A malfunction didn't allow crucial components to deploy. No scientific data were transmitted. What a waste of time. 1962. British Space Agency launches its first satellite, the Ariel 1. Britain becomes the third country after USA and USSR to operate a satellite. 1964. Tanganyika and Zanzibar merge to form the United Republic of Tanzania. 1986. A minor incident at Chernobyl NPP. Firefighters have been dispatched to extinguish a fire on the roof. Compartia has been informed and is taking all the necessary measures. There is no need for evacuation. 1994. South Africa holds its first multiracial election. Nelson Mandela's party wins. 2015. Nursultan Nazarbayev is re-elected as Supreme President with an even more supreme 97.7% vote. # in case you missed yesterday's news in by Impossible Ad. Archive by. Donate to Armenia and AMP. Artsakh. The accused are innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. Even if they appear guilty,